Wawina wena girl. So clearly winning is your thing.
It's my thing, Balisa. It's in my streak. It's in my blood.
Speaking of which, mawufuna ukuwina nawe at home, listen up carefully. If you eat, sleep and dream of baking, the new season of the SAFTA Award-nominated show on SABC, The Tastemaster SA, can be your ticket to stardom. Now, if you want to become the next South African baking influencer and you know you've got what it takes, then enter now. To help you along, we have a delectable choc chip cookie recipe that we think is absolutely to die for.
So you've got some dry ingredients on your side that you're going to sift together for us. You've got some flour, some baking powder, baking soda. You're going to mix all those together and sift it nicely. And then once you're done, chop up the chocolate for us because it's not a choc chip cookie without the chocolates. And then I, on my side, have the wet ingredients, which has to be our egg. I'm going to have 1 egg yolk from here. We've got some caster sugar, some brown sugar. We've got some oil and some vanilla essence and some additional choc chips. So the reason why we've got some brown sugar and some caster sugar is because we want the caramelization of the choc chips. So you'll see the color is nice and golden brown. That's basically why we add that additional brown sugar for that caramelization. So to start it off, Bali, I'm going to go in with my 1 egg and then break apart our egg and get just the egg yolk from this. What this does is that it helps enrich your batter and give you that nice, delectable taste that we're going for with a choc chip cookie.
Nice.
I'm going to whisk these together and then that'll be the first step of our mixture. And you know, whenever you're working with sugar and eggs, we always say to make sure that you whisk it as soon as possible because you don't want the sugar to burn the egg. And by burn, we mean it's going to be very grainy and have granules. So as soon as you start popping your sugar into the mixture, into your egg, then start whisking as soon as possible. And to help this along, I'm also then just going to add some of our oil that goes into the mixture. We just made a chocolate cake which had oil. We're adding some oil into this as well to give it that enrichment, you know?
Perfect. And here, Dumi, I'm about to add some baking powder. Now, what is baking without baking powder? And you said just a teaspoon. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's fine. You're going to sift it in, and it just gives it a little bit of that crunch that we want in our cookies.
So with the baking powder, I'm also going to add some salt in here, just a pinch of salt, and then I'm going to sift that in together. So all of my dry ingredients are already in this bowl. I've got my 2 flours in here, I've got my baking powder, and I have got my salt, and then I just mix this up for you, Dumi.
Perfect, Maggie. You can mix it all up, and then we're going to pop in those dry ingredients that you've whisked nicely for us into this wet batter that we've got over here. You can actually pop it in so long, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to then start forming our batter. As you can see, we've not added the choc chips yet. Whenever you're baking, if you're adding stuff like choc chips in there, because you don't want it to sink to the bottom, as you can see here, the choc chips are still showing on the top. The reason we put the choc chips at the end and the chocolate that you're going to chop up for us now is we want it to be able to hold its place in the cookie itself, at the top, in the center, at the bottom. So that's why we're not adding it at the beginning, because we want to just fold it in nicely and make sure that it gets equally distributed through the batter that we're making over here.
Love it. Okay, so you know what? What I also love here is that we're using actual chocolate, real chocolate.
Correct.
For these choc chip cookies. We didn't decide to skimp out on this recipe. We decided to have nothing but the best in quality. But Dumi, as this is an opportunity for all people that are wanting to get down with being the SA Baking Influencer of 2021, it's all about Tastemaster SA.
Yes,
so you must have so many memories when it comes to the Tastemaster SA, highs, lows, just the whole tumultuous experience of it. But when it comes to any baking challenges that you might have had, how were you able to make sure you were a step above the rest?
Well, Balisa, we didn't have that many of them, but the few that we did have, what I had to do was I needed to research, because I'm not much of a baker. I had to ask the people that I know who are experienced in that field to help me along, because it's very important to also do your research. You know, what they tasked us with was constantly coming up with recipes, and sometimes you think you know until you ask a couple of people, which is very important. It's okay to ask, because the more people you ask, the more info you get, and the more of a competitor you can be, more you've got to offer than just, I think I know everything, I'm not going to ask anyone. So I think it is best when you're going into this, do as much research as you can, speak to the people that know, and then just have fun. But Balisa, what you've got there is that batter. We can't roll it just yet. It needs to chill so that it's easier to handle and so that it doesn't spread. So I've got some that I've already chilled, and I've started rolling that out, and that basically goes into the oven to bake at 180, and that's it.
The Tastemaster SA is back, and this time around, it's the baking edition. It promises promises to be yet another sensational series of good food and incredible prizes, not to be missed for the ultimate winner. The previous season's winner, Chef Dumi, recently walked away with the Lux Restaurant Award for Rising Star. Her star is indeed shining bright, and you could be next. So if you are a passionate baker and want to be the next South African baking influencer, just go on to www.tastemaster.co.za to enter now. But here are more details on how to enter.
If you eat, sleep and dream of baking, enter the Tastemaster SA's new season starting in September on SABC2. Grow your career in TV and as a baking influencer and stand to win 20,000 rands cash plus 50,000 rands worth of premium kitchen products. To enter, share a video of you baking a wonder you've created with tried and trusted Royal Baking Powder. Upload your video and complete your application on the tastemaster.co.za website. Entries close Sunday 25th July. T's and C's apply.